It's time once again for your devil's favorite advocate. That's me, Deuce Loosely. And I want to give a shout out right now to our mates over in the UK, Dave and Claudia from the Talk TNA podcast. It's a show on Mondays at 4 p.m. our time, Eastern Standard Time anyway. It's 9 p.m. over there. And um, I am an occasional visitor to their live chat because, real life gets in the way. But I happened to be there this week. Um, and we, this isn't any kind of mutual love fest. This isn't some kind of mass, cheerleading for TNA or anything. We do our fair share of criticism whenever it's warranted. I mean, we scrutinize it the same way we do WWE when it's warranted. It's just that we have fewer negative things to say about TNA than we do WWE. So that's another matter for another time. Right now, I just want to bring up a couple of things, a couple of points that came up in our conversation Monday. And the first one, we were talking about EC3, aka Derek Bateman, who revealed his new bodyguard, and I gotta say, EC3 is really playing up his heel role by bringing in a bodyguard. You know how this goes. The heel guy wants to take it easy. He wants no one to get near him. Um, and he wants that bit of assistance or distraction or whatever whenever he needs it. So they bring in this guy Tyrus, aka Brodus Clay, which is good for TNA and good for Brodus. Good for Tyrus. I'm just gonna start calling him Tyrus. He's not Brodus Clay anymore. Um, which is a good thing because now he is playing the role that he was supposed to play in WWE. The big problem was they gave him this stupid dancing dude gimmick, and they addled him with two lame divas, and that gimmick, was it got old really quick. The only thing that was catching on about that gimmick was the song that the entrance theme, which was Ernest the Cat Miller's song. But since WWE bought WCW, they also, I guess, they own the rights to that song. So anyway, and I still refer to it as Ernest Miller's theme. So anyway, Tyrus was introduced, and EC3 gave him his first match, which we all found out after a minute or two was Shark Boy, someone that I have taken to calling Whale Shark because he has gained a considerable amount of weight, and he is playing off this character who's gotten lazy and overeating, and he's just like, he was trying to eat donuts through his mask, which was really kind of amusing. And when he goes into a match, he's just like tired because he can't carry his own weight anymore. And I only remember about half of this segment, but what I saw of it was pretty amusing. And this is one of the points that came up. It's that TNA needs at least one other quote unquote cartoonish character like the overweight Shark Boy. Somebody who we can look at and laugh at for a minute or two at a time. And this is something else that TNA got right. They kept that segment short. They didn't drag it out for 10 or 15 minutes. They didn't drag it out for an entire match like they did with the alligator, or well, like WWE did with the alligator and the mini bull, which the crowd chanted, "This is stupid" about. Now, the TNA leaves the segments for backstage. When the guys come out to the ring, it's business. And yeah, it was a squash match. And we all knew it. And but the thing is, it made for an entertaining segment when they went back to get Shark Boy and he was trying to eat his donuts and he still had his mask on. He was wearing all of his crumbs, and when he came out to the ring, so um, this is something that TNA is missing. They need at least one other character like this, not exactly like Shark Boy, of course, but something like it, something entertaining, something to lighten the mood. Um, as long as they can keep it to a minimum, like they did with Shark Boy this week. Um, and this brings me to another point where TNA just kind of took the Shark Boy thing and made something amusing out of it. WWE tends to take these characters and turn them up to 12 to where people are just looking at these characters like, what the fuck is this? People end up scratching their heads about why is this supposed to be funny? I mean, I'm not going to say they put too much thought into it. I think they put too much work into it. I think their characters are overwrought, and they need to tone down these clownish characters that they come up with. Adam Rose, that guy needs to go away, seriously. Him and that entourage. I mean, I haven't seen much of him lately, which is a good thing. So, hopefully they're trying to phase him out of the main picture. They shouldn't have brought him in the first place, because I don't know what made them think that gimmick was going to translate over to Raw. I mean, we haven't seen Bo Dallas much these days either, because that gimmick wasn't really happening. That gimmick's been like dying a slow and fatal death. But anyway, the WWE cartoonish characters need to tone down, and they need to be shortened. They need to be minimized. Little bite-sized chunks here and there, not match-length segments, and especially not these stupid midget matches that we saw, 2-3 weeks ago or whatever it was. I really would like to think that that's the last we ever see of anything like that. But this brings me to another point about characters and personalities and how relatable are they really. And if you look at what TNA has and you look at what WWE has and how they present and maintain and build these characters and personalities, I have to say that TNA has more relatable characters. They feel more real. They feel more like people you would actually know. I don't look at WWE and think, I know somebody like that. I don't even see Randy Orton as somebody that I would ever know. I don't know anybody who would know somebody like that. Triple H, he's just a corporate goon. The way he's being played up. John Cena, he's way too goody-goody. I don't know anybody like that. I've never seen anybody like that in real life. No one that WWE presents is like anybody you know in real life. At least in TNA, yeah, you get these, kind of over-the-top characters. They like them. They are more like themselves turned up to 11, I guess. But you can still look at them and say, I kind of know somebody like that. I know at least one person that's like this guy and this guy and this guy. And this is something else that, I think WWE is creating a disconnect between them and their audience, is that their characters are not connecting with the fans because no one relates to them. And if they're not boring you to death, they are alienating you because they are just so over the top and so out there that they just, you can't reach out and access them. They are just way too far out, and they're beyond anyone's understanding, beyond anyone's comprehension, and it's just something that you don't get. You don't get anything relatable in WWE, and I think that's why people would really like to see guys like Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan come back, because those guys were more real than anyone else WWE has on their roster right now, and they are seriously missing that. So if you want something relatable, something that you can identify with, the characters and personalities in TNA are your best bet as far as that's concerned. And then we kind of touched on, if any characters or any guys, if anyone in TNA were to want to, were to be sought after by WWE, who would actually make it? And a few names were brought up, and that got me thinking. As much as I would like to see Bobby Roode get his shot in WWE, as long as Triple H is anywhere near the camera, is anywhere near the ring, is anywhere near a storyline, as long as Triple H is still alive, I'm pretty sure, if he and Bobby Roode were in the same building, the comparisons would be immediate. And people would just be like, yeah, this guy's just trying to be like Triple H and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, that certainly wouldn't work. And it's not like Bobby Roode's trying to be like Triple H. That's just who Bobby Roode is. And I think that's why Triple H has not tried to pursue Bobby Roode, because he's too much like himself. So, and I was thinking, would Austin Aries be a good fit? And then after a minute of thought, he probably wouldn't, because Aries is too down to earth. He's too, he's too grounded. He's talented and everything. He's got the personality and whatnot, but given the atmosphere and the landscape of WWE, there's really no place for somebody like Austin Aries, and that's a shame. Now, in terms of over-the-top characters, somebody like Samoa Joe, I think he would excel if they let him. If WWE gave him a good program against somebody worthy of Samoa Joe's, abilities, his talents, intensity, and whatnot. I mean, Joe can hang with anybody. He's got speed, and you can qualify it by saying, yeah, he's got speed for a big guy, but he's got speed, period. The guy can move. The guy is trained in several disciplines, and he's immensely talented, and he's got the personality. He can do, he's got mic skills. So he would be an easy transition. You might have to spend, maybe a month or so in NXT or something just to warm up, but just to get acclimated to what WWE is. But eventually he would make huge waves there. EC3, he would also be an excellent heel character. He'd be an excellent heel character anywhere. It's just that WWE really dropped the ball by letting him go. They constantly drop the ball by not letting guys be even a little bit more themselves. Just be a little more grounded, be a little more accessible, be a little more relatable and more identifiable. That's really the biggest complaint I have about the personalities and characters between WWE and TNA. So, as far as I'm concerned, I can relate more to what I see on TNA. And I don't get all the fluff. I don't get all the ridiculous garbage segments that last for 10, 15 minutes. They don't spend the entire show talking. They don't spend the entire show advertising. You know, it's just not nearly as ridiculous as WWE has become, and it's sad. It's sad to see what WWE has become. They're supposed to be the standard bearer for the entire industry. What are they now? They're kind of a three-ring clown show with no direction, and they're basically a ship steering shit creek without a rudder right now. And in a minute, I'm going to touch on my own predictions for Hell in a Cell, which I really don't care about. This is a pay-per-view that needs to go away, but I'll touch on that in a moment. But in summation, I would say TNA is your best bet if you want characters and personalities you can relate to and identify with, and they're just accessible, and you can actually believe what you're looking at.